What's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of Cooking and Cleaning with FoodPRO. Star of this episode is Mr. Phil Flannery, who is our beverage and chemical team manager here at FoodPRO. If you all haven't taken advantage of their services, you might want to talk to your rep and see if you can set up an appointment. They do a great job. They are not subcontracted. They work for FoodPRO, offer 24/7 service, and they do a really great job. So we're back after the COVID crisis, and we're trying to help everybody get ready to reopen when that happens. So today we're going to feature some cleaning products, and also Phil and his team are offering SIT visits with all of you. If you set up with your rep, SIT is Sanitation Inspection Team, and Phil and his team are able to come out, visit with you, and actually give your staff some coaching and focus on some areas. So today we're going to focus on 4 primary areas. We're going to focus on the front door, the dining room, the bathrooms, and the kitchens, because these are all very important areas, especially out front of house, because your customers are probably going to be a little bit nervous going out to eat for the first time after quarantine, and you want to make sure that you're doing everything to make sure that they're comfortable dining in your facility. As an added bonus, we're going to feature this brand new product, which is an Old Bay hot sauce. It's item number 21745, and we're going to add a little bit of honey to it and make some Old Bay buffalo honey wings. And then Phil is going to feature 3 cleaning products. We have a sanitizer, which is ready to use, item 60304, Tap Orange all-purpose cleaner, which is an 87075, and a ready-to-use disinfectant, which is item 64275. These are all great products. They come ready to go, stickers fully labeled, and let's get started. All right, so we're here at the entrance of our facility, and Phil's going to demonstrate one of the significant areas that your customers are touching and seeing every day, and we're going to talk about the process. So what type of cleaners are we going to be using here, Phil?
Well, typically you want to use an all-purpose cleaner, and today we have the Tap Orange, which is a citrus neutral cleaner. So it's safe to use on all surfaces, and you need to get rid of all gross soil first before you can sanitize a surface. So we're going to spray it down with the Tap Orange, wipe it off, and then go back over it with the no rinse sanitizer.
Oh, I can smell that with the mask on, Phil.
Yeah. It's got a great citrus smell. Okay, now you've cleaned your surface. And then you want to go back over it with the no rinse sanitizer. Now this has a contact time of 1 minute to kill. So you'll make sure that you spray it on and let it sit for a minute. For purposes of this video, I'm just going to wipe it off. We're going to wait a minute. So you wipe this off, and now your surface is sanitized.
All right, the optics of this is really good for your customers. It shows that you care. So now we're here in the dining room, Phil, and our customers have just left the table. They're very clean eaters. Can you talk to us about the process of cleaning these high-touch areas in the dining room?
Yeah, it's going to be important to use an all-purpose cleaner on the tabletop to make sure you get rid of gross soils and also where people have touched. And then you also want to pay attention to wherever the high-touch areas are on the chairs that they've used. So it's a 2-step process, just like we did with the front door. You want to spray with your Tap Orange, your neutral cleaner first, and then you want to go back over it with the no rinse sanitizer. And once again, after you've cleaned, then you spray with the no rinse sanitizer, and you have a minute contact time. So you spray it down, you leave this wet for a minute, and then you go back and wipe it off.
All right, now we're here in the bathroom, which is another super high traffic area. What are you going to do in here, Phil?
So basically, for the purpose of this video, in our bathroom specifically, we have no-touch paper towel and hand soap dispensers, but most places don't have that. So it's going to be important to clean those surfaces also. So you want to go over it with, once again, the all-purpose neutral cleaner. So you want to spray down each of the dispensers, the paper towel and the hand soap dispenser. And then you go back over it with the ready-to-use disinfectant cleaner. Now the disinfectant cleaner, you want to leave wet for 3 minutes. So after you have wiped down what you need to wipe down with the all-purpose cleaner, go back over it, spray with the disinfectant, and then go about doing other things. And you can do them in order. You know, you're going to be able to pick your order of cleaning and then disinfecting. So you want to spray everything down with your all-purpose cleaner, wipe it down, your countertop for your sink, your faucet handles, and the faucet itself, and inside the basin, and anything basically around that people would be touching. So you want to make sure you clean it with an all-purpose cleaner first, and then you go back over it, spray it with the disinfectant, let it sit for 3 minutes. The floor is another issue. Obviously, you're going to have somebody come in here with a bucket that's going to have another cleaner, preferably a germicidal cleaner, because it inhibits mold and mildew. That's what most people use to clean the floors of bathrooms. So they're going to clean that floor, and then we're going to move on to if you have urinals, you want to make sure that you're spraying it down with an all-purpose cleaner also. Any area that's going to be touched, and then you spray it down with your disinfectant and let it sit. Same thing with your toilet. You're going to want to make sure you clean it, clean all the gross soil off of it first, and then go back over it with the disinfectant and let it sit for 3 minutes. Toilet paper dispenser, same thing. People will touch all over the toilet paper dispenser, so you want to make sure you do the same process as that. But basically, you're cleaning first, getting all the gross soil off, and then you're going back over it with the disinfectant and letting it sit wet for 3 minutes to bring down the microorganisms that are on the surface.
All right, now we're over at another non-food contact service that hopefully is getting a lot of work in your kitchens, folks, because we need to wash our hands. I mean, hopefully we've always been doing that anyway, but there's an increased emphasis on it with the pandemic at hand. So again, hand sink.
Yeah. Being that it's a non-food contact surface, we want to use a ready-to-use disinfectant cleaner. You want to spray it on, leave it wet for 3 minutes, and then come back over and wipe it off. Above, you can see we have our paper towel dispenser and hand soap dispenser. So we also want to spray those down, let them sit for 3 minutes, and then go back and wipe the product off.
Okay, and now while we're at the hand sink and we're about to do some cooking, I want to make sure we talk about the hand washing procedure. Okay, you need to change your gloves every 2 hours at a minimum, or anytime you change a task. In addition to that, we need to wash our hands before putting a new pair of gloves on. We need to start with hot water, minimum 100 degrees or as hot as you can stand it. And I want to get all the way up my wrists, in between my fingers. Of course, you want to make sure your fingernails are neatly trimmed so you can clean underneath them, in between the fingers. And I can go on and on and on, at least for 20 seconds or more. Dry my hands with a paper towel. No cloth towels, because those can harbor bacteria and viruses. And then off with the towel so that I haven't recontaminated my hands. Now we're ready to cook. All right, so now we're here in the kitchen where the magic happens, and we have a couple of different things going on in the kitchen. We have food contact surfaces and non-food contact surfaces, and it's important that we pay attention to the chemicals that we're using on both of these surfaces. So here we have a food contact surface. Phil, what are we going to use for this?
Well, typically you're going to use an all-purpose cleaner to get any gross soil off the table, okay? And then you're going to go back over it with the no-rinse sanitizer, because this is safe for food contact surfaces, as opposed to the ready-to-use disinfectant cleaner. Those are for non-food contact areas, and this has a 1 minute kill time. So we're going to go ahead and clean our table with the all-purpose cleaner, and then go back over it with the no-rinse sanitizer, spray it on, leave it wet for a minute, and then go back over it and wipe it off, and you're ready to go. You can also use this on your cutting boards. You can use it on your meat cutter. After you've cleaned it, you can spray it down with the No-rinse sanitizer, wipe it off, and you're good to go.
Okay, and then over here we have a non-food contact service in the handles of our coolers. What are we going to do there?
Right, so it's recommended that we use a disinfectant cleaner, once again, on non-food contact areas. So you're just going to want to spray on your spray, let it sit for 3 minutes, and then go back and wipe it off.
All right. So now we're going to start with some wings. Just going to drop them in the fryer. Those come in frozen. I like to thaw them out first. Helps with the cooking time. But I'm also going to let them get crispy. While those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make my Old Bay sauce. So of course, this thing here is going to be good by itself, but I figured it would be a little bit different because I just can't sleep at night dumping it in there and going with it by itself. But I'm sure it works great. You could also maybe mix it with some mayonnaise and use it as a different sauce for maybe a sandwich or fish tacos or something like that, or even on crab cakes. It's always nice to get a different sauce, but we're doing wings today. I'm going to use 1 part honey to 3 parts Old Bay hot sauce. All right, wings are done, nice and golden crispy. Just going to toss them right here into my honey Old Bay sauce. Give it a couple tosses. And of course, it ain't hard to plate wings. Now, let's talk about what service looks like. All right, so there's a lot of speculation going on, and I don't really think there's a lot of solutions to what the dining room needs to look like as far as health codes. I've talked to people that have spoken to the local health department, and they don't really have a lot of answers. I'm sure they're still trying to figure it out. But one thing can be fairly certain: you probably don't want to have the classic silverware and linens on the tables, just for the perception of folks that are afraid of the virus as well as possible outbreaks. So a couple of solutions we have. This is a really neat product. This is a silverware bag from Tough Cards. It's a clear bag, and it functions kind of like a baggie. So I can take my silverware, put it in there, fold it over, and I have a no-touch silverware that I can deliver to my customers, and I'm going to recommend that you bring that out with the meal. So I've seen a lot of places that were already doing that before all this happened, where you sit at the table, they bring your meal, they place the silverware in front of you. It's nice. These are fairly inexpensive. There's 2,000 of them in a box. That's going to be item number 75171. Or another possible solution is the classic napkin roll. Okay, now we want to make sure that our service staff is wearing a mask and gloves during this time until those restrictions are lifted, if they're ever lifted. And we want to bring the food to the customer, minimize contact, and bon appetit. All right, there you have it, folks. And in interest of making the video a reasonable amount of time, Phil certainly has gone over a lot of great information with us and shared that. He's got a lot more detailed information, and like I said, his team is ready to come out and help coach your staff and get them ready for reopening. Hopefully it's really soon. And he's got a lot of other information, handouts, and things that he can share with your staff, including contact times and frequencies, if we can get into a deeper dive on that. And of course, don't forget, we have the Old Bay hot sauce in stock, ready to go. Thanks for cooking and cleaning with FoodPRO.